Hello everyone, welcome to Cyberscope Neural Security. Today I'll be taking you through web application basics tasks on TryHackMe. I'll start with task 1, introduction. No answer needed. We'll go to task 2, web application overview. Which component on a computer is responsible for hosting and delivering content for web applications? The answer is web server. Which tool is used to access and interact with web application? Web browser. Which component acts as a protective layer, filtering incoming traffic to block malicious attacks and ensuring the security of the web application? The answer is web application firewall. Task 3. Which protocol provides encrypted communication to ensure secure data transmission between a web browser and a web server? The answer is HTTPS. What term describes the practice of registering domain names that are misspelled variations of popular websites to exploit server errors and potentially engage in fraudulent activities? The answer is typo squatting. What part of URL is used to pass additional information such as search term or form inputs to the web server? The answer is query string. Let's move to task 4. Which HTTP message is returned by the web server after processing a client's request? The answer is HTTP response. What follows the headers in an HTTP message? It is an empty line. Task 5. Answer the questions below. Which HTTP protocol version became widely adopted and remains the most commonly used version for web communication, known for introducing features like persistent connections and chunked transfer encoding? It is HTTP/1.1. Which HTTP request method describes the communication options for the target resources, allowing clients to determine which HTTP methods are supported by the web server? The answer is options. In an HTTP request, which component specifies the specific resources or endpoint on the web server that the client is requesting, typically appearing after the domain name in the URL? It is URL part. Task 6. Which HTTP request specifies the domain name of the web server to which the request is being sent? The answer is host. What is the default content type for form submissions in an HTTP request where the data is encoded as a key, as key is equals to value pairs in a query string format? The answer is application/x www form URL load encoded. Which part of an HTTP request contains additional information like host, user agent, and content type, guiding how the web server should process the request? The answer is request headers. Next we go to task 7, HTTP response status line and status codes. What part of an HTTP response provides the HTTP version, status code, and a brief explanation of the response outcome. The answer is status line. What category of HTTP response codes indicate that the web server encoded an internal issue or is unable to fulfill a client's request? It is server error response. Which HTTP status code indicates that the requested resource could not be found on the server, on the web server? It is 44. Task 8. Which HTTP response header can reveal information about the web server software and version, potentially exposing security risk if not removed? It is the server. Which flag should be added to cookies in the set cookies HTTP response header to ensure they are only transmitted over HTTPS, protecting them from being exposed during an encrypted transmission? It is secure. Which flag should be added to cookies in the set cookies HTTP response header to prevent them from being accessed via JavaScript, thereby enhancing security against XSS attacks? The answer is HTTP only. Security headers, task 9. In a content security policy configuration, which property can be set to define where scripts can be loaded from? It is script source. When configuring the strict transport security header to ensure that all subdomains of site also use HTTPS, which directive should be included to apply the security policy to both the main domain and its subdomain? It is include subdomains. Which HTTP header directive is used to prevent browsers from interpreting files as different meme type than what it is specified by the server, thereby mitigating content type sniffing attacks? It is no sniff. Task 10. Answer the questions below. So after doing the practical, the first answer is TryHackMe, curly brackets, you hyphen have hyphen just hyphen found hyphen the user list. This is the answer. Make a post request to /API/user/2 and update the country of Bob from UK to yes. What is the flag? This is the flag. TryHackMe curly brackets, you have modified the user data. Make a delete request to /API/user/1 to delete the user. What is the flag? The flag is TryHackMe curly brackets, you have just